Hey, Michelle here from Sensate Soul. Oh, I just saw on my shoulder there is my Mr. Ollie. Resting, sleeping like the relaxed, chill old man that he is. And I am here on a overcast Saturday, looking out on the river, doing a little open-eyed meditation and having some downloads, as I like to jokingly call them, instead of downloads. I wanted to take a moment here to just speak a little bit on empathy being a embodied compassion and energy healing state, and also practice. Because I feel like I want to just clarify a couple things here that have been coming to me a lot lately. So many of us, when it comes to personal growth and spiritual growth and everything, and spiritual awareness, whatever that may be for you, we've seen this rise of compassionate practices and meditation and yoga and all of these things that help us return to our center and help us tap in. And a lot of it is for personal growth, self-awareness, and a lot of it is also for management of life stresses, and a lot of it is in essence self-care and returning to self, with all the things that happen and that pull us away from our centers. And we're not meant to live in our centers all the time. Yes, and I know that may sound a little bit weird, but it's like, energy is always in a state of flux. And we are in a state of flux, and everything is always moving and adapting and changing. So, it's similar to that whole thing of like, that when you fly an airplane, you don't stay right on course, or when you sail a boat, you're always adapting. So we're always going up, left of center, right of center, to go back into center. It just depends how far the degree that we're swinging, will affect our lives and our abilities to trust ourselves and our sense of resilience. So what I really wanted to say here is around, I've been talking a lot about how empathy is truly a self-love embodiment practice. And the reason I say that, and my experience of empathy and in the work that I do, and just really going deeper with this embodiment and empathy piece, is when you're in a moment, think about a moment you had recently where emotion was coming up, whether it was yours or somebody else's. And think about how in that moment, in order to really help it move through, it really takes being with, right? So if your friend is hurting or having a hard time, or if you are going through something, we're not going to say, we'll buck up and get over it. Hopefully not. We want to witness and be present with what their experience is. Empathy being a ability to acknowledge and really accept the emotions and the inner world of another and their experience is a felt sense. For empaths, it's particularly felt sense because we feel it in our systems and as if it was our own. But again, please remember, with empathy and empaths, it's not just all of the disowned hard stuff. It's a lot of the, amazing, creative, beautiful, ecstatic stuff also that we tap into. So being an empath does not mean you're just walking around with the drudgery of everybody else's suffering. You are aware of that, you feel it. And it also gives you access to be able to be present and work with it. And empaths can be, most of them are incredible healers, if that's a way that you tend to use the ability. Anyway, so getting a little off track. But what I really wanted to say is this idea around when we feel our empathy for ourselves, that's what self-love is. And I don't know about you, but for me and what I observe, and I'm going to sound like Oprah, what I know to be true is that I'd say probably 99.9% of the people on this planet are here to know themselves, to be themselves, and to love themselves as they have been created to be. So life is a self-love learning path and self-love school. And it's also, of course, that thing of like, there is oneness, there's no separation. What I am for and with myself, then I'm able to also recognize and be with and for others. And of course, that's not a black or white, all or nothing kind of thing. It's there's gradations within that spectrum as well, because there are some of us who are incredibly altruistic, and then also have challenges. This is just an example. Have challenges of being that for ourselves, not because I'm thinking of like Mother Teresa. The altruism level that she was at. I mean, I know this is a really big, high standard I'm talking here, but the altruism, her level it wasn't about her. It really, truly was an absolute service of what I've read about her and her life. So that whole thing of like it being, she didn't need to necessarily have all of that deep compassion for her self, because her life was really, truly a life of service. Anyway, so empathy, when we feel empathy, we are tapping into that moment of tipping point potential to work with a past memory, a past energy, something that needs to be released and healed in ourselves and others. And we know that it is true because we are feeling it. So it's not a heady concept of going in the story. It's a felt sense of healing potential and of awakening potential and of self-love potential. So when we feel the energies of emotions, we are tapped directly, mainlined into that place where we can shift the energy, heal whatever it is in ourselves and others. So it is a felt, embodied practice of embodied compassion, self-love, and awakening. And awakening is not the big kind of like you got to be enlightened. It's the being awake and aware of the divine that you are, and of the beautiful presence and human that you are. Just looking up, there's some beautiful geese flying over right now. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to share, a little longer than I was expecting, but sometimes these thoughts and feelings that we can have, they can be so like in the underneath, that to bring them up and put some sort of left brain words on trying to explain these wordless sensations can be challenging. But thank goodness we've got these big human brains to be able to try to do that with some sense. All right. Thank you so much for checking out this video. And please do come over to sensatesoul.com. Check out the new book as well, A Year of Empathy, that's coming out in 2019. You can get the intro and the first month for free right now as part of the soft launch. And you can find that at sensatesoul.com/AYOE book. All right. And so much love.